Is your company constantly fearful that you need to buy more AI tools just to stay relevant in your industry? Well, the answer to that question is a resounding no, you don't. If you're already using Google Workspace, then you already have cutting-edge AI capabilities that your team is probably not even aware of and certainly not using to its fullest. Stick with us for the next 20 minutes to discover the AI powerhouse that's hiding right under your nose, and then learn how the right training and not more tool spending is the answer to give you the competitive edge. If you're new to this space, my name is Kyle. Everyone calls me Kamo, and I train knowledge workers on how to use AI tools to be future-proof and be awesome at working in today's AI world.
And I'm Rowan. I'm head of sales at North America for Cobry, and I help companies using Google Workspace understand how they can enable AI to help their teams be more effective.
And Rowan and I have worked together for a long time, but we're coming together right now because we keep seeing the same problem over and over again. We talk to customers, people using Google products and Google Workspace in their business who are constantly fearful that they don't have access to the right AI tools. And Rowan, I know you've seen this too. We go to them and we say, well, what AI tools are you using from Google? And they're just like a shrug emoji.
Exactly. It seems like there's all these hype, products that are coming out. Every single SaaS tool is creating some kind of AI solution or add-on. And companies, I think, are completely overwhelmed and bamboozled by both the pressure to get AI solutions being effective for their team, but having all of this incredible amount of growth and all of these offerings available to them, they just don't know where to turn.
I agree. And there are some great third-party AI tools that exist in the world, but you got to integrate that with a solid foundation of what's in your pocket, right?
Right, exactly.
Okay, so let's spend a few minutes right now. What we're going to talk about is a quick overview of why Rowan and I are very biased, but we think that the best $25 you can spend on any AI tool is just a Google Workspace account. So we'll tell you all the things that you get with it, why you don't need a lot of other tools. Then we're going to walk through all the AI-specific products and services that you get access to with that Workspace account, and why specifically for businesses of all sizes, it is such a perfect solution to keep you secure, compliant, and simple for you, your business models, your customers, and your employees.
Absolutely. I'm so excited. Let's do it.
Okay, so Rowan, first thing that we're going to talk about is all the stuff that you get default with a Google account. So let's just staccato back and forth. We can pick our favorite ones, right? So when you pay $25, when you pay for your single seat license, you get access to the best mail client on the planet, in my opinion.
Right, exactly. You get incredible document editors. You get Google Drive, which contains all of those different document editors like docs, sheets, slides, forms, vids even. Incredible.
And then vids is awesome. Google Calendar replaces everything that you could possibly want with things like Calendly or calendar booking software, and it's full featured, integrates with all the other tools as well.
You get Google Chat, which is a messaging system both for individual DMs and also things called Spaces, where you can organize the chat files and also tasks around particular projects or activities within your business.
And speaking of core pieces of the business, you also get access to Google Meet, which is their video conferencing solution for $0 extra outside of that existing monthly spend that you're doing there. And this is, in my opinion, again, but significantly better, more user-friendly, more featureful than Zoom, Teams, and all these other competitors that are out there that are going to charge you, as much money for the Workspace account as just for their video conferencing.
That's right. And on top of all of these amazing end user productivity tools, you get a layer of admin and security where you can really tweak and control all of the aspects of how users are interacting with data and sharing that data and the security around their account access as well.
Yeah, and that same security layer with Google's IAM, Identity and Access Management, works across both Workspace and Google Cloud. So if you end up having a business that needs to expand up into having cloud solutions, or you want to go into low-code, no-code, or application development, again, using the same tools that we're going to talk to you about in a few seconds, you can host those with the same exact security layer. You don't have to go in and have brand new permissions and brand new accounts set up or new logins. It's all one login, single sign-on with what I'm, industry-leading security across the board with all that.
That's right. So an incredible amount of value. And we haven't even talked about AI yet.
Yeah, there's zero AI things in what we just said, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so off the bat, you get access to Google's flagship large language model, which is called Google Gemini. It used to be called Google Bard. It's gone through many evolutions. As of the recording of this video right now, we are on 2.5 is the latest variant out there. And there's a lot of different microservices that go along with that. But seriously, Gemini, super duper powerful, has the largest context window of any publicly available LLM that you can get today. And frankly, is awesome. It's very creative. It is very friendly. I know that's a weird way to describe it, but it's awesome for brainstorming, awesome for doing code development. The strengths are massive.
Right, exactly. And there's the Gemini, what we call the standalone experience, which is kind of the separate tool where you can access different models to choose from, which is cool, like deep research. I've been playing around a lot with that. There's new capabilities like Canvas, where it's more of a back and forth collaboration partner rather than, I think of the prompts almost like a chess move, like you place one move and then the AI places a move back to you. So there's that. And then there's also gems included there too. So you can build kind of repeatable, customizable bubbles of activity for particular functions or things that you're trying to do with the AI. So that's like what's included in that standalone experience. But then the AI is also sprinkled in amongst all of the different tools that people use every single day in Workspace.
Yeah, I mean, you can go into a Google Doc or a Google Sheet right now and open the Gemini bar and have it work with you to create a template or work with you to figure out which formula you need to put inside your cells. It'll help generate slides for you inside of Google Slides. The ability to just kind of phone a friend, have that Copilot waiting right there off on the sidebar for you inside of the stuff has dramatically improved my efficiency with these. And I just don't have to go open random Google searches anymore. I can just ask right there in context with the data that it's looking at, and it gives me relevant in-context answers. It's pretty dope.
Right, and what's brilliant is that there's not only Gemini integrated into, say, composing an email or creating a document, but there's also this amazing feature called the side panel. And what the side panel does is, it's at the top right of most of the tools. You click it open, and you can actually add or tag different parts of your workspace data across the different tools that you use. So you can tag emails or documents and reference them in the prompt that you're trying to do, which is one of the amazing benefits.
Absolutely. So Gemini, again, that's just the sort of native integrations that you have, but Google also has 3 distinct, what I'm going to call power products that are just amazing. They kick total butt. First, we're going to go into is Notebook LM, which is my personal favorite Google product that exists, period. I mean, I like it more than Gmail, and that's saying something. I've been a Gmail user since like month 1. Notebook LM is a phenomenal way to group context of the things that you are working on. So you can create a new notebook inside of Notebook LM, and inside of that notebook, upload documents, upload website references, upload raw, unstructured data if you want, and then have conversations directly with that.
These laws are like the rule book for how everything in the universe moves and interacts.
Okay.
Oh, hey, I think our listeners got something to say.
Can you explain the 3 laws of motion with a basketball example?
Sure, I can do that. Let's use a basketball. Imagine you're dribbling. Newton's first law. That ball keeps moving until you stop.
You can upload hundreds of documents of images and have it process these things. I've used this for everything you can imagine, from keeping track of sales conversations or prospects in a sales process to analyzing whiteboard images that I took in a high reflection office environment with my phone and giving feedback loops, taking transcripts of multiple calls and trying to do sentiment analysis. But it's awesome because you can just do this in context. I use this in my personal life all the time. I have one about my son's hobbies. I have one about the greenhouse in my backyard and all the stuff that I'm growing inside of it. Like it's such a useful tool to group your knowledge into one location and then be able to access that in so many different ways. And it has a podcast feature that is one of the most cool. And I know, Rowan, that podcast feature is like your favorite, but you could take all those documents and then you could say, hey, give me a 30-minute podcast about all the stuff that I just uploaded, as if you are trying to educate me on my own stuff. Or, hey, I am really interested in growing, like peppers in my greenhouse this year, but I don't know much about it. Take what I've already given you and give me a podcast about how I specifically, with all the information that I know, can grow that specific thing. And this expands out to everything. And you've used this a ton, right?
Well, exactly. I think of Notebook LM almost as like the Swiss Army knife of unlocking multiple different data sources. It really doesn't matter the content or even what type of format the source is in. As long as you have that to start with, Notebook LM's the ultimate solution for getting outputs and understanding that data. But yeah, the podcast feature is absolutely amazing. They've actually built it into Gemini natively itself now, and also coming to Google Docs, where you can summarize your full document or get a podcast going back and forth on it too, which is incredible. One of the updates from Next, actually. But yeah, that's amazing. And the last thing I'll say about that is there's a beta option where you can interact or join the podcast itself and speak with the host, which is insane. You can ask actual questions of the data, specifically areas that you want to know. So yeah, kind of going into the future with that sort of capability.
I love it. And when you have a Workspace account that has access to Gemini Advanced, you get access to Notebook LM Advanced, which is just bigger context windows, access to more models, and really unlocks a lot of really powerful features that take it to the next level.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And speaking of the next level, Notebook LM is the Swiss Army knife, as Rowan described it, but Google's AI Studio is like when you you take the hood off the computer, right, and you want to twist every knob and adjust every bell and whistle possible, AI Studio is like the tinkerer's toolbox that allows you to do so much with AI. It allows you to dial in every type of temperature setting and reaction window size and token size limit. And so when you really want to start getting a little bit more into the technical weeds, AI Studio is there to be your power user device. It also is the single greatest troubleshooting tool on the planet. You heard it here, everybody, okay? You can share your screen or upload screenshots in real time, like you're joining a video conference like rolling around right now, and say, hey, do you see my screen? And you talk to it with your voice as it's looking at your screen, and it can help you figure out problems so quickly. I use this for building applications inside of low-code, no-code tools all the time, and building automation tools inside of Google's App Script and App Sheets and all these other tools that are available to you as well. AI Studio is the power user's toolbox, and I love it.
I love your passion for it, and I know that you're equally as passionate about Firebase Studio. Tell us about that.
Yeah, okay, so Firebase Studio is the brand new name for a long line of tools that Google has been evolving over the years. It used to be called Product IDX, and it was, like console inside of Google Cloud and all kinds of interesting pieces to it. But Firebase Studio is the new full stack AI-enabled developer solution. So you can consider this low code, no code, or full code, depending on how deep you want to get inside of it. But it allows you to jump in, interact with AI, and build stuff. And so if you've used Cursor, or you've used VS Code with some of the AI-enabled systems, or Copilot to help you with coding, it's like all of that, but in one package that, again, is natively included when you have access through Workspace. It's not like a full suite tool that goes into it, but you get direct access to that right away with any Workspace account.
I love it. Well, with all these incredible capabilities and features that are available just by having the Google Workspace subscription, I feel like it's time that we explain why we're so passionate, and we believe that it's really the answer that a lot of these company leaders are really looking for when they're getting all this pressure to adopt AI effectively in their organization.
Yeah, and there's so many struggles that companies will have with AI, primarily around data privacy and security. Those are so huge, right, across the board, and everyone should be pretty concerned about those two things. Like, we live in a very security conscious world where cybersecurity threats are very, very real, and there are, thousands of new AI tools that seem to be coming out every single day, but you have no idea what those tools is. Is it like one person sitting in a basement making that tool and hosting it on some third-rate hosting site? What are they doing with your data? Sure, their privacy policy says stuff, but like, can you trust that? Like, are there third-party reviews? What compliance? What certifications? What regulatory restrictions are in place? All that disappears when you go with Google, when you go with Workspace. And so I'm just going to harp on the security side of it, but that enhanced security and data privacy is top of my list as someone that runs a cybersecurity podcast on the side. You know what I mean, Rowan?
No, totally. Well, what I love is that all of the protections that you get with Google Workspace, as in you own your own data, Google never scans that data or uses it for advertising or really any purpose aside from storing it for the services. All of those protections and more that you get are also applied onto Gemini and Google's AI, but then you also get another layer of protections that Google provides for those too. All of the solutions that we mentioned, if you're accessing them through a Google Workspace account, a corporate account that you've paid for, none of that data gets fed back into the model. It never gets reviewed by humans in any way. And Google, again, the purpose of storing your data is only for the use of that AI. It's never misused or used in any other purpose. And I love that Google have made those protections so clear and strong, like they have had a history of doing.
Yeah, and I worked for Google for a number of years, and I can tell you that the security restrictions inside when you're an employee are insane. Like, they're hyper impressive, but the dedication that goes into protecting customer data is off the charts. Like, I've never seen anything like it. So, okay, we've got security, we've got data privacy, all that stuff. We can't stress enough, you get access to all this stuff and it's already integrated. Like, there's no extra configurations. You don't have to go talk to your administrators and be like, please turn on Google Drive, or please make sure that my AI tools have secure access and the correct permissions to access my stuff. It's all one system. It's all one identity. So direct integration with every service that you've got.
Right, and that means like some of the features that we mentioned earlier, for example, being able to tag files and emails and reference those in prompts. That isn't possible unless you have that connected system. If you were using a third party or an alternative AI solution, you'd have to then export that data, and that's a security risk in its own, and then import that back into the tool, so security risks, and also not ideal for just user friendliness and effectiveness.
And then once you get all that stuff synchronized across, how do you go back and make an edit? Does it get the updated edit that you made 2 seconds after you transfer the files over? probably not. The complexity that you would have to do to set something like what you get for, again, a single account, a single, $25 fee, it's insane. What you would actually have to do and build on the side, the number of tools that you would need to stitch together and build APIs for and interact with APIs, the complexity is crazy.
Right, and I think that leads on to another distinct advantage along the same line, which is these AI capabilities are built into the tools that folks using Google Workspace are using every single day. If they're using Gmail, the AI tools are right there. Again, they don't have to go to another solution, maybe import or add context. It already can see that context securely, and the user's already using that tool. So in terms of adoption and enablement and getting the most juice out of these tools quickly, that's why we think it's one of the most effective solutions.
Yeah. And, in summary, you get all this for one price, and the price is not insane. It's not, a $200 a month OpenAI subscription. This is like $25 as the starting point for a business account, and you can have as many of them as you want at your business. And there's lower tiers and upper tiers, but that one cost gets you access to everything, and not just like the bare bones versions. We're talking about a level playing field of the tip of the spear solutions, right?
Exactly. This is one of the things which I'm most passionate about. I said this to you earlier. Literally, even if you wanted to, you cannot pay Google within the context of Workspace for better, more enhanced AI solutions. Every single company or organization and team that uses Workspace is on a level playing field with the same access to the same tools. So it's all about how do you use those tools most effectively if you want to gain ahead and not be left behind.
Yeah. And I mean, a big piece of that, Rowan, is having a good partner in your back pocket that you can call upon to help you get this stuff set up correctly and like empower your business, right?
That's right. And I have the answer right for the folks there. So I work for a company called Cobry, who are official Google Cloud partners. And we help hundreds of organizations using Workspace not only optimize the use of Workspace, but more recently have been helping them really get the most out of AI securely and effectively with their teams.
Yeah. And again, we see this over and over again. You have access to these amazing tools. Talk to experts that will help you navigate them, get up and running quickly so that you can rock on and rocket ship to the front of whatever competitive landscape you exist in with your business or you personally. That is the way to go. And then once you've got that stuff in place and your business is empowered, well, now you have to spread that knowledge out to your employee base. And when you want to get your employees the right amount of training to thrive, that's where I come in. I offer AI training sessions in my With Kamo services and my With Kamo courses. So if you need to know the basics of AI, we've got you covered in 4 hours of training. I do it live so that people have access to me and access to ask questions in real time as we're going through it. And then I have an advanced course that's another 3 hours where we get into automation, building agents, heavily focused on the AI toolkits that come as part of Google's Workspace services. And then we do practical example sessions that range from 2 to 4 hours with each type of work that you have to do. So sales and marketing and education and you name it, we focus in on saying, okay, great, let's take specific examples from your world and show you exactly how these things can solve it for you. So I think we've covered a lot in something like 20 minutes here, Rowan. So what's the takeaways you want to make sure they have leaving here?
Well, if there's one takeaway from this all of our ramblings here, it is that if you're already using Google Workspace, you have access to some of the best AI capabilities that can securely see your data in the tools that you use every day already. So have a look at them, try thinking about using them, and maybe contact some folks that can help you use them effectively.
That's right. And look, we can all go down the YouTube, Medium, Reddit rabbit holes all day long to try and learn AI systems. But I promise you, go through something structured. Like if it's not with Kamo, go find a training program that you can get hands-on and you can see this stuff practically. It's not just theory. And there's literally nothing holding anybody back right now. In 4 or 5 clicks, you can open up the most powerful thing you've ever had access to in your whole life for helping your productivity or your business's productivity. Take advantage of it. All right, Rowan, thanks for spending some time with me today, man. This has been fun.
You got it.
All right, everybody. Happy AIing.